Howdy folks, Will Diego here. It's Friday the 21st of July, 2024. Anyway, I just wanted to tell you what I learned from this week's fishing in San Quintin, Mexico. Okay. And it was an eye-opener because that's the first time I've ever been offshore in a small panga fishing boat. And what I've learned is that what we consider fishing, most of us, how I grew up, is not really fishing. It's sports fishing. Okay, sports fishing is fishing for the fun of it. Trying to catch the biggest fish, the most fighting fish, for the fun of it, for sports. But when you're fishing for a living, like these guys do, these panga fishermen on the Baja Mexico coastline, they're fishing for food, which is money. Okay? Totally different. Now, don't get me wrong, they do enjoy sports fishing occasionally, but that big yellowtail or tuna or marlin, whatever they may catch, it counts for food also. They enjoy catching it, of course, but it goes in the cooler and gets sold per kilo for money, okay? Right now, they're getting about 120 pesos for a kilo of fish, okay? And that's 120 pesos for a filleted kilo of fish, not for the whole fish. So that reduces it quite a bit. It's like 20% of a fish. So it's very hard. It costs them about $100 to $200 in fuel to go out, 3 to 5 miles out offshore in their pangas, to a couple $100 in fuel, and then they're only getting 120 pesos per kilo of filleted fish. And I was doing some figuring on our I don't know how many pounds we caught the other day, but figured about they made about 1,000 pesos by the time they filleted them all out, which is only like 50 or 60 bucks. And the fuel cost was $150. So as you can see, it's not very economical to be a fisherman. Now, where they do make out is they charter out the pangas to tourists like myself, and it's usually about $450 to rent the panga and another $100 for the captain. And then you can bring as many buddies as you want, up to like 4, maybe 5, and just charge your buddies $100 a piece. So that does make up the difference. So that's what I've learned so far about the panga fishermen in Baja, Mexico. And then from what I could see, their routine would be to go out early in the morning, and you look for the birds like seagulls and pelicans in the sky, circling over maybe a school of fish. And they're also eating the bait fish that the big fish are chasing, the game fish are chasing, okay? So that's what you look for. And then also talking to their other buddies on the CB radio, where's the location of the game fish. So that's what we do. First, we start looking for the birds and then the boils of fish. And then from what I could see, they started casting into the bait boils, casting lures on top surface irons, and just trying to hook on to game fish. And yeah, boom, we caught barracuda right away. We hit barracuda right away, but the yellows, they're supposed to be running, but we didn't find any. And then of course tuna are way further offshore. So we did that for a while until that played out. Then they have their honey holes, which are areas that they have marked on their plotters, chart plotters and everything, where they start doing their bottom fish. And, from 100 to 300 feet of water with a big weight, taking like 3 hooks down at a time, 3 or 4 hooks on one line, and baiting them with squid, like pieces of squid. And boy, that was good action. Every time the weight went down to the bottom, set it on the bottom, within a couple of minutes you're feeling jerks on your line, and you don't have to set the hook or anything. You just start reeling them up, and boy, I tell you, it's hard reeling up 300 feet of line with the weight and the fish and everything. Your shoulder gets sore pretty fast. At least mine did. So folks, fishing, as we commonly call it, as I know it, as I grew up with, is sports fishing, which in the professional world of fishing down here in Baja, Mexico, we only spend about 10% of our time actually casting for game fish. The rest of the time, the meat kilos of fish is on the bottom fish. Sometimes you're getting 3 at a time, and these things are pretty round and fat, a couple kilos, at least. That's where the meat comes from. It. We filled up the cooler mostly with the meat fish. So, folks, that's what I've learned about fishing, the Panga fishing in Baja, Mexico. This is Will Diego, over and out for now. God bless.